So welcome to session 8i in the hybrid cloud stream, which is a new stream for this year. So thank you everyone who's turned up so far. And thank you, Daniel, for volunteering to present. So I'll hand it over to you and you can introduce yourself and your presentation.
Okay, thank you, Jacob. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on you are based. I am Daniel Reich. I'm talking out of Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. It's 6 a.m. here, so I'm very excited about this presentation. So thank you very much for attending GSC conference. Thank you very much for attending this presentation, my presentation. And thank you very much to GSC for allowing me to present, giving me this opportunity. I am Daniel Reich, and within the mainframe modernization track and cloud track, I will be presenting for the next 45 minutes this session, what mainframe could learn from the cloud. Yes, that's right. This is the title. This is the objective here. What mainframe could learn from the cloud. Despite being the longest lasting, most mature platform, most scalable, and most secure, adopted by 75% of the world's largest corporations, the mainframe can learn how to modernize itself. The mainframe can learn from this new platform that it's the cloud. And because the cloud has introduced several new features and concepts and vision that the oldest platform, we can learn. It's like learning from our kids. It's like learning from our grandkids. We always have to learn from the new guys. So before getting into the subject itself, let me talk a little bit about my career. So I have about 45 years working on the IT industry. Most of this time I have spent working with mainframes. I started early 80s working for, Esso. Esso is an oil corporation. Today it's called ExxonMobil, but I think in Europe you still have a lot of Esso gas stations, right? After that, I moved to IBM, where I spent 30 years working for IBM. After IBM, I moved to AWS, and I spent a couple of years, a few years. And later on ECOX, that it's a Brazilian software development for the mainframe platform. And currently, I am working for Azabaz, that it's a mainframe software reseller. We represent IBM, BMC, Rocket, among others. And we cover all the Spanish countries, Spanish-spoken countries, okay? While working for IBM, I had the opportunity to write 5 Red Books. I am sure you know the Red Book collection. And I hope you had the opportunity to read some of them, okay? Okay, so this is a very short introducing about myself. Okay, what is the context of our session here? Everyone here certainly knows about mainframe. Everyone here should be very skilled about mainframe. And not just skilled, but also passionate about the mainframe platform. We'll cover, we as a mainframe professionals, we built our careers, our lives, our families around this platform. But I don't want to talk too much about emotions and feelings. I want to talk about the importance of the mainframe for the business world and society in general. Launched in '64, the mainframe platform transformed the IT industry that existed at that time. Mainframe platform established the standards for corporate computing and contributed definitively to the formation of various industries such as finance, government, insurance, civil aviation, healthcare, and many others. The impact of that platform had all of these segments and the value it delivers, created an ecosystem and a market that has remained alive for over 60 years. This is the mainframe side of the house. The other side of this house here, this presentation, is about the cloud. The cloud had about 10, 12 years of existence, but it introduced a series of innovations to the IT industry, which made the cloud the fastest adopted platform of all the times. Its main differentiator, that is very important us to understand, is it's that the cloud, it's primarily a, a, a service provisioning platform, IT service provisioning, while mainframe, it's a computing platform where we use the mainframe resource to produce IT services. The cloud, it's basically a service model for IT resource. Okay, so this is the basic uh, uh, difference between mainframe and the cloud. So
Daniel,
what we
sorry to interrupt you for a second. I
okay
just thought I heard something that sounded like a low battery alert on your laptop. I was just wondering if you got it plugged in. I wouldn't want your laptop to die in the middle of the presentation.
my laptop got this message.
It could have been that. There was something that sounded like it. So I just thought maybe you could check that you've got your laptop plugged into power.
Yeah.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah. Let me check here before we go out of power. About, however, I am using the I'm connected to the power.
That's great. Maybe it was a different
Okay.
alert.
Okay.
I just thought it was worth
Thank
checking.
you. Okay.
Sorry for
Good.
interrupting.
Thank you. Okay. No problem. Okay. So what are the objective of these sessions here? Of this session. So one of the objectives, reflect on technology dynamics and how its impact on IT industry, understand mainframe and cloud value proposition, evaluate which new paradigms cloud has introduced and how mainframe shops can benefit from, and make mainframe stronger and more relevant for the industry. This is our main objective here. So by the end of this session, I hope we all have a better understanding of what is going on in the industry, what cloud are, why cloud has been so fast adopted, and what we can, how can we make mainframe better to continue to have this platform valuable for our clients. Sorry. Important note here, when I say mainframe, I am related to Z hardware, actually Z16, Z17 that was recently announced, and the ZOS operating system, okay? So this is what I say mainframe. I not consider mainframe the Linux side of the mainframe, okay? Moving forward for our session here, to understand the role of the mainframe in today's world and why the cloud is so successful, we need to understand the role of IT over the past 60 years. IT has established in the 50s, was established in the 50s to replace manual labor with computers. And the mainframe, with its disruptive technology, transformed the computing that existed by that time. And by introducing the S360 by that time, we know all the story, what the impact the mainframe have been done by that time and follow on. After that, we had the introduction of the personal computing, the PC, early 80s, Windows, and after that, the client server model. And by introducing the Windows and the PCs, we have started to see that IT it's been shifting its power from the data center to the end user, to the department organizations. Later on, we had the internet, late 90s, that also made a big impact on IT industry and IT organizations. After that, in 2007, we had the launch of the iPhone that introduced all the mobile devices along and all the application devices, applications running on the smartphones. That was a big change in the whole industry. Actually, more than industry, it was a big change in the in the whole society and business. And more recently, about 2010, we had the introduction of the cloud. So this is a landscape where we see how the technology have been introduced in our lives, and how the IT industry in particular have been shifted over the time. So we left the data center, was where the IT departments were concentrated its work, and with iPhones, smartphones, and more recently with the cloud, we have seen that IT is spread all over the places. IT it's a very pervasive uh, subject. Everyone now use smartphones and cloud, and this was a big impact on mainframe, because mainframe, they originally and architecturally were built for the enterprise computing and data center computing, and now the model is totally different. Okay, moving forward. So what this digital transformation that we are seeing over the time, what it requires a different mindset. It requires that organizations align, IT organization, IT departments being aligned to business strategy and business objectives. IT should understand client demands and user demands. And also, IT should become a service provider, not an obstacle. Why I'm saying obstacle? Because usually mainframe organization, mainframe professionals, they are not that much connected to the business. They are not that much connected to the end user demands. For instance, 2 years ago, we had at the GSC conference, we had a presentation from April Hickel, that is a VP from BMC, and she said that very clearly: we cannot be anymore the no department. We cannot say no to everything that it's requested from us. You have to say yes to the business. So this is a mind shift. So every mind shift starts from a vision. After the vision, we have to change the existing culture. The existing culture, you define the new process, and those processes are supported, are built on IT. Okay, so this is the whole flow. Usually, when you talk about mainframe modernization, digital transformation, all this stuff, we focus only in the IT side, on the technology. But you have to have a much broader vision. So this is what I am trying to introduce here. Okay, what has changed since the mainframe where came to the market in the 60s till today? What has changed? We have to understand this process. Otherwise, we will not be addressing, responding to our business demands. IT has left the data center and moved to the executive board. So IT decisions today are taken on the executive board. Every executive, it's an IT specialist. They understand technology more than the IT people itself because they have the ability to connect technology to the business. IT has permeated all industry and society. IT decisions have been taken by top execs, not by tech execs anymore. IT has changed from supporting the business to is the business. What I'm trying to say by that? IT is the business today. If you have a good app running on a mobile device, this make your business better. The way organization are delivering products is for the mobile devices, for the it's pure digital solutions. Client has the power to influence business strategy. Organization and people want to consume service, no parts. Okay, so people want service ready to go, not you provide them the parts to them, they build the solution. So starting with the vision, what is the vision for the new landscape, for the new scenario we are seeing today in the world based on technology? Organization, they are looking for agility, time to market, innovation, client experience, and competitiveness. These are the top 5 priorities that the organization are looking for. This is the vision, what organization are trying to achieve. And you see here, it's still not about technology. It's about a vision. It's about business. Technology comes later on. So based on our um, uh, a very important statement from David Rogers from Columbia University. Digital transformation is not about technology. It's about strategy, new ways of thinking. Technology comes later. Okay? Having moved from the vision to the culture, so if you are changing the vision, business vision, and we have also to change the existing culture. What it's a mindset we have to change in the mainframe organization. The cultural change should be based on agility to address business requirements. Act as a startup. Sooner is better than perfect. We at our traditional mainframe culture was the opposite. We should be perfect before we deliver a new solution. Now the word is different. The mantra is different. Sooner is better than perfect. We should be able to experiment, try different things. And also, this is not very useful in the mainframe organization because experimentation requires sometimes not very successful project. Experimentation requires you spend some MIPS and storage and network that maybe you are going to put in the trash. So, but you have to do that. And this is different. Mainframe people, they like only what it's very assured to be successful. Customer centric. We have to look from outside in, from the customer. Customer has the power today, not the organization and not the IT department. We have to be ready to listen and to understand customer demand. Data is the oil. Data is the gold of the digital economy. So we have to leverage data and transform data in business value. And finally, collaboration, work together, not silos and so forth. So the major message here is we have to transform the cultural from being resource management that it's traditional the mainframe culture. We manage resource, we manage the mainframe, we manage the MIPS, the CPU, the storage, everything, resource, and we have to go to be a service provider. So this is why I'm using these two pictures here. Tesco, that it's the largest supermarket network in UK, to McDonald's. Usually the mainframe, they act as a supermarket. They provide the resource. No, customers don't want resource anymore. They want ready to go service, like McDonald's. You ask for number 1, 2, 3, so you get what you want. You don't have to cook, don't have to prepare your dinner. Just pick whatever you want, you're ready to go. So now we are moving to the third part of our session. We mentioned vision, culture, and now we are getting into IT itself. So those are the top 10 items that accordingly to Gartner Group, according to other large consulting organization, they listed, and what we could learn actually from the technical perspective, technology perspective, what we mainframe could learn from the cloud. So first of all, you see here, we have IT actions, and we also have the business outcome. So this is a mindset that we have to change. You have to look at IT. What will be the business outcome from any IT activity? So you cannot be anymore disconnected from the business. So first of all, agile methodology instead waterfall. What will be the business outcome? More business agility, working in squad instead of silos. Why squads? Because squads, you have representative from all the organization departments, from all the organization that are related to the project you are working on. Not just IT, you have people from the business, you have people from finance, you have representative for everyone working the same project, different from the silo that you have every specialist working isolated from the other. This is one point. Other point, we cannot afford anymore projects that take too long to be delivered, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. We have to deliver projects faster. We have to deliver products, digital solutions faster, every quarter, for instance, every month, for instance. So this is the whole agile methodology, that the value of agile. For instance, here in this picture, that compares waterfall, it takes too long to deliver value, while agile deliver value from the very beginning. Okay, so this is the importance of switching from agile to waterfall. Second item, when you talk about agile methodology, this is directly connected to DevOps. We should we should expand DevOps adoption in the mainframe shops. According to BMC mainframe survey from 2024, we're still lagging behind by very far from the other platforms. So what is the importance of DevOps? It's the industrialization of developing application. Mainframe, we have been very good. We have been doing very well on the ops side, on operating the application, on running application, on making everything that is relating to performance, accountability, resource managing, everything that it's ops. We have not been good on dev, even in the development tools and all the cycle of the development, test, code, build. Now, recently, on the last 5 to 8 years, more or less, we have been doing a lot of improvement on the dev side as well of the DevOps. But still, we are lagging behind on automation, on integration with the whole other development cycle. When CI/CD, we're still lagging behind. So we have to work on this item as well. So this is DevOps. API. What's the value of API? API is the major value, major requirement for this digital economy, because organizations, they integrate each to the other through APIs. So we should be able to expose mainframe resources, business logic, data, everything through APIs. We have a lot of the resources in the mainframe, logic and data, they represent a huge value. But if other organizations, other partners, other business partners that we interact with, they cannot access these resources, the value that it represents are not realized. So this picture, for instance, it's a picture that shows how to expose ZOS Connect. It's the most common solution, but there are to transform ZOS resource in APIs and connect to the external world. But there are several others similar in the marketplace. Okay, so but I still see most of the organization that they keep the mainframe isolated from the other platforms. Okay, so API is the third I think we have to improve, because it open up, integrate, expose our resources and also access resources from others using the API technology. Data diversity and connectivity. First of all, we have, in my opinion, in terms of technology capabilities, we have one big fault in mainframe, because we do not support non-structured data in mainframe. We also process, we all just support structured relational database, vSAN files, IMS database. All this data is structured. It's a fault to have in mainframe, because digital economy, it's about data. Data is the gold of the digital economy. So we have to find ways to bring to the mainframe data that it's somewhere else outside of the mainframe, and also expose mainframe data to applications that are running outside the mainframe. Okay, so without moving physically the data, without FTP data, without copying data, without all this stuff. So what I'm showing this picture here, it's basically an architecture, a view, a vision on how to deploy a data architecture that allows organizations to integrate data from other platforms on-prem or on the cloud, and expose also the data existing on the mainframe to other applications that are running outside the mainframe. So by developing, by deploying this architecture, a similar architecture that expose data and connect data, we will be adding value to our mainframe application, and also will be adding value to non-mainframe application that need to access mainframe data. Okay, so this is our fourth point: data diversity and connectivity. Fifth point: hybrid architecture. So this is, we cannot consider a corporate architecture just based on mainframe. The reality, it's these three-level components architecture, where the mobile devices are the end user interface to the corporate application. Some applications or some services are running on the cloud. Also, the existing or new application that are on the mainframe, business logic and corporate data in the mainframe, will have to make it available for the mobile devices and the cloud. We also should leverage the cloud for some services that make no sense anymore on the mainframe. For instance, backup files to be stored on the cloud, data disaster recovery solutions can be outside the mainframe, could be living on the cloud. For instance, analytics, BI, and more recently, all these Gen AI, it's services that they are much better suited for the cloud than for the mainframe. By having all this hybrid architecture, we are adding capabilities to the mainframe, we are adding value to the mainframe, we are lowering the TCO, total cost of ownership, to the mainframe, that it's one of our major issues, is cost, price, and we are delivering more value to our end user, okay? Because you have some applications that are better suited for the cloud and some applications that are better suited for the mainframe. So we'll be exploring the best of both worlds and giving to end user the mobile as a user interface. Self-service interface. We all know how difficult it is to get skilled in mainframe. We all know how long it takes to prepare a new professional, someone coming from the university, to be ready to work, to operate, on the mainframe environment, because everything is not very intuitive. We do not have a front-end panel that give us all the services, all the activities you could be doing on the mainframe. Different from the cloud. Cloud, it's in a few months, everyone is ready to be working on a cloud environment, because everything is very easy, very intuitive. You have a front end panel, or you have all the services available for you. So if you could have a self-service interface for the mainframe users, I mean, not the end user, but the administrators, developers, and the infrastructure guys, I think will be, you bring more people to work on the mainframe. Item 7, automation at scale. We need to expand automation capabilities from the mainframe, because this will reduce mainframe friction, adoption friction. You reduce the cost of the platform. You improve the scalability of the services you deliver from the mainframe. We have some level of automation at the administration, at people running the data center, people running the jobs, but still, when you compare to the cloud services, we still have a long job to do in terms of automation.
That's 10
Item 8.
minutes. 10 minutes left,
Okay,
Daniel.
okay, okay, thank you. Item 8, entry-level price model. This is one of the main reasons that cloud is being so successful, because on the cloud you pay for what you use. If you don't use, you don't pay. So it's very easy to get a new organization adopting the cloud, because you can start small and expand over time. Or even for us as a professional, if you want to learn the cloud, you want to practice, we have the ability to do that by just spending a few dollars. But Mainframe, they has the entry level to start working on Mainframe, to a new organization to acquire a Mainframe. It's very expensive. We know Mainframe, it's as you scale, as you put more jobs to run on the Mainframe, the cost per job or cost per business transaction, when you scale, it's better than the cost on the cloud. It's lower, Mainframe cost per transaction, but it's when you get to a high scalability, when you have 2,000 millions of transactions running. But at the very beginning, you don't have that. So this is a obstacle for new organization to get into the Mainframe business, to adopt a Mainframe. So if you could have an entry-level price model, or increase Mainframe adoption and reduce also the skill gaps. This is the business value for that. Item 9, FinOps. We on the Mainframe shops, we introduced long time ago the concept of chargeback. We measure everything from the IT resource perspective. We measure CPU consumption, storage, memory, network, everything we measure. But we do not have the capability to link this IT resource measurement to a business project, to a business solution. So this is where FinOps, it's more advanced. The concept and the existing tools that are being deployed, developed by the cloud providers with the concept of FinOps. So a project get measured in terms of cost of the project from the very beginning. FinOps is part of any project, so you know how much the project will cost to the organization, and you have the capability to decide if this project will be profitable or not. Now, by not having the FinOps concept, just the chargeback, just the accountability, everything it's charged to the Mainframe department. And this is one of the reasons that the Mainframe looks to be very, very expensive, because we do not share the cost with the user, with the business line of business. We don't charge the project. So Mainframe, we spend everything in on own. So this, by introducing FinOps, this will be more easy to justify the Mainframe investment, because users and projects and line of business will be paying for that. I think 10, that it's our last item here. It's to have a marketplace like cloud providers. They have marketplace, or where all the cloud providers, service providers, solution providers, they participate in this marketplace. We do not have this in Mainframe. Actually, I would suggest inclusive to GSC to sponsor this initiative, to have a Mainframe marketplace where all these small, medium Mainframe organizations that develop software, develop solutions, to be on this marketplace, also bring startups, mainframe startups to this marketplace, and expand the mainframe ecosystem, expand the mainframe community, and allow everyone that it's developing a solution for the mainframe to get visibility. Otherwise, each small company has to have its own effort to selling and marketing its product. So the main message here is you don't have to migrate to the cloud in order to have cloud-like services. We could make the mainframe a IT service provider like the cloud is. So if we adopt several of these 10 items here, we'll be transforming the mainframe perception, the mainframe cost, the mainframe adoption, and everything else that it's related to mainframe. That's today it's been observed as an obstacle to be adopted. So just wrapping up, we have just a few minutes. I want to leave some time for questions. We started by introducing the mainframe and comparing to the cloud. We showed how the IT and technology have shifted over the time. What was the IT role over the time? IT started as to substitute manual work. Later on, it shifted to service support the business, and now IT eats the business. So this is a major shift over the time on the IT role. And with this IT being the business, IT becoming a service provider, we listed the top 10 items mainframe could adopt or should adopt in order to become a service provider, and also the vision and the cultural shift that is required in order to adopt this, to be in line with these new business demands. Okay, so this was a very quick wrap up. I am also sharing here some books that I used to build this presentation here. And thank you. Open for the question. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much, Daniel. That was really interesting. There were certainly some things in there that I didn't even know about on the cloud model. Are there any questions? So if you have a question, feel free to either just write it in the chat or write in the chat that you'd like to be unmuted, and you can get to talk on air, as it were. It strikes me, Daniel, that a lot of those things that you mentioned aren't even, you know, they're not technical limitations of the mainframe. They're just cultural things. I suddenly know non-mainframe teams that are also like that. Maybe we should call them mainframes as well.
Yeah, yes, Jacob, you touched a very important point. That is the major reason for this presentation, that I'm trying to say that if you want to keep mainframe valuable another 61 years in the market and helping, supporting our clients, we have to modernize our mainframe. And modernization is started by the vision, by culture, and later on by technology. Just technology will not help us to make this modernization.
No, that's a really good point. Okay, last chance for any other questions before I finish the session. don't think there are any other questions, but thank you once again very, very much, Daniel, for presenting and for getting up so early to present.
No problem.
We really appreciate it. And thank you everyone who turned up. This was the last hybrid cloud session for this conference, but we will be back in November for the physical conference. And of course, next year for the virtual one, if you can't make it to the physical one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you very much, everyone. And feel free to reach me out anytime later on. If you remember any comment, any question, feel free to reach me out.
See you later. End the session here.